Well, the Steed is finally getting a new cab. I know it looks like shit, but this thing is actually way cleaner than this cab because there's a lot of rust and Bondo up there, and you know what? I don't feel like fucking with it. But anyways, this is probably the last time y'all ever see it look like this before she has a paint job. So I cut the roof off. I don't care if you have the cleanest first gen known to man. It is gone right here. This is my only panel that I cleaned up that looks good. This thing right here, I had to remake this entire whole piece. This is the old one. All rusted out. These cabs literally didn't even have primer on it. When I took this thing off, I had to clean off all the rust. My rail, I had to make a new rail. Look at this. And this was covered up with the other metal. Even though right here, it looked like a perfect roof whenever it was all welded up. Goes to show how bad the factory did it. Anyway, I'm just working on the roof right now. And it looks really good. Tomorrow I'm going to paint it and just kind of get a little bit more of the surface rust off. It's really not bad anymore. It was just coated, but no pitting. It was just surface rust. Thank God. And you can compare it to my other cab. Just breaking. And whenever I got that one, it looked perfect. This one, oh yeah, by the way, I ended up cutting around this seam right here, and you can kind of see the body lines, how it kind of goes up. But the seam is just hideous that they had to add in order to connect these panels. And I'm gonna completely weld that shut all the way down and clean it up. But anyways, not looking so bad anymore. Here's my roof that I cut off. That's where I sanded a few spots down where there were some little dings. I'm gonna ding out while I have the roof off. And you can see on my roof how it really has like no rust, except for just right here. That was it. Everything else is soft. So this is just surface rust. This is not bad. This isn't even fitted right here. I welded up where the cab lights were, so I can sand it back down. But you can see right here where I'm gonna have to make just a little patch. Most of it's still fine. The back of it still looks pretty good. That's where I shaved the It's not even a third brake light. It's a bed light. Bed lamp, whatever. Anyways, just cutting around that seam like I was talking about. But no, it's not gonna be too bad. I can bang some of those dents out. Just the little ones, they're not crazy. Alright, today I use this wax and grease remover after I've already sanded everything, or wire brushed it. The whole entire roof. Also, I got the pillars down there I cleaned already. Inside there. And as I got it all cleaned up, I'm gonna use this rust encapsulator. It goes on top of there. You can put it straight on bare metal. It'll make it last a really long time. This is some of the best stuff I could find. Just put my first layer of paint on, and holy moly, this thing has taken a turn. This is insane. Oh, it looks so good. So happy with the results. I'm so happy I spent the extra time just making it right. This roof is going to survive years to come. All this work is going to be worth it. Something else that's also really cool is to get inside all those pillars and whatnot. I got this off Eastwood, and it sprays like in a 360 down in all the pillars. And I'm gonna see if I can get a good look at it. See, I sprayed all in there. The entire whole inside of the cab is completely. See if I can get a. I even got down in there, all the way down there. I was able to fill in all the pillars. And finally starting to put my roof back on. Got all the stuff straightened out. I mean, little dings, little things. It wasn't nothing crazy, but everything underneath is completely painted. Now just getting this laser straight. This part, because you know, this is where it comes into my original rail, and I want it to be perfect. I was then able to use my original rail because of a few small spots. I just can't, it's just, even though it looked perfect whenever I bought it. So I know these look wonky, but I actually made these yesterday. They're the same exact, like has a little bend in it, and the same, I actually made them a little thicker, using the whatever that rolling machine's called. But those are gonna be my rails, or my rail that's gonna go across the whole front. But today I'm gonna make this plate that goes right here that came on the truck originally, where this piece right here used to connect to underside of the roof. And so that's what I'm doing today. Also, on one of my other trucks, I went and cut this roof off. It's, don't get me wrong, it's torched too. But I cut it off because I could get these measurements. Look, this is from factory, this gap. A hole right there. And if you compare, look at this. This little clump seam sealer on everything to make it look nice. All right, first thing I do is I use this called stomp brake, I think. Anyways, it cuts metal perfectly straight, just like this piece. This is actually one of the little pieces of a cut I made earlier that is for my rail. I went with a little bit thicker metal, and then after I use that, I cut these strips, and I use this tool right here. It's a tool that, it's called a bead roller. Anyways, I ran it down there, and that's what made that curve that I needed, that a rail naturally has. Then I got a flat piece of metal, one that has no curve in it, and I welded it to the curved one. I know it looks a little wonky right now, but whenever you weld this long, it starts to warp a little bit. But anyways, and then I use my old rail as how I should be bending it, at least get it close. And I put it through this tool right here called a stretcher or a shrinker. Right now I'm using a shrinker, and then it makes this shape. And this is where I'm at so far. Literally, hold on, let me get set on there. Just right. It's identical. And then I got my rail back. So today I cleaned up my roof skin, and I got it, like there was like little dings kind of whatever. I got them out. I mean, I'm gonna have to use a little Bondo, but it's only gonna have to be like an eighth of an inch, like almost nothing, in just a couple areas. But besides that, I also put this rail on. Dude, it is solid. It turned out way better than I expected it to. It took so long. It took me almost an entire week just to make this rail. The curve I wanted and everything, and it finally coming together, and it looks beautiful. Cannot ask for better. And then once my roof, I flip it over and it goes on here. I'm gonna actually weld my roof to this part of the rail all the way down and clean up these whatnot. Still gonna use a little bit of seam sealer. You'd be surprised that people actually use it on brand new vehicles still. But I just want it to be like zero wind noise, no air leaks. But anyways, also I got this is actually a corner I cut out of a truck I had sitting around of my trim. And once I actually install the trim, hold on, let me get it in there. It goes, and it literally mates up perfect with the underside, just like I want it. So I made sure of that too. That was one of the most important things, besides getting that freaking straight. That was so tough. And this is what I'm trying to figure out now. I got 2 different kinds of foam. It's for automotive use. And not only that, if you use this foam, and you put it in a bottle and you were to like shake it up, it won't expand the bottle. It'll only fill the bottle. So it won't warp any panels and whatnot. And that's why most manufacturers actually use this. My truck actually came with these 4 pieces of foam that were mounted 1, 2, 3, 4, that someone just put a little bit of foam on it from factory. And most vehicles are like that today. But I did a test. There's a rigid foam and a flexible foam. And that one's a little too soft, and this one is a little soft. And it is so strong that it's gonna almost bond my top layer and my bottom layer. And it's gonna sound like a cooler when you knock on it. It's gonna be completely filled with foam, the entire roof of it. But that's after I mount my roof. And then after I mount it, I put these long straws all the way through the roof and spray paint all the stuff where I just got done welding. Then after that, I drill a couple of holes, and then I inject the truck with foam. All my pillars, my roof, everything will literally have foam coming out of it, but it's also gonna have all this protection on it, so I don't have to worry about it rusting. But hopefully this week, or this coming week, I'll get my roof back on and get it completely welded back up and painted. And maybe next week I'll be foaming. And then I'm done with the roof. Like, I sit there and I feel like I did so much stuff, and I'm literally just done with the roof. But I know that's gonna be the hardest part of this project, so I'm not too worried about it. It just took a long time, and it was one of those things where every single day I would give myself just one little objective to do, and then just do my best at it and just get it done for that day, even if it only takes me an hour, or sometimes it might take 8 hours. I would just pick out something, and that's what I would do until I was finished. And then I would go home, and next day pick something else. Because you can't just work on everything at once. You gotta perfect every little piece during the whole process. But now that I got all the roof and stuff remade and welded, and I went way overboard, just making it a whole lot stronger, welding it way more than it probably needed to be welded. But I just want it to be super solid and last just years to come. And I feel like investing in this truck is going to be a good investment. I think that this truck's going to be a truck that I'll keep forever and just kind of upgrade it and whatnot, but just kind of doing the bullshit right now. But I found a guy who is going to sandblast, or it's like glass blasting. But whenever I talk to my dad, he thinks I should just gel coat it where the paint just comes off and you kind of like pressure wash it off. So I'm actually going to order some of that tomorrow just to test it on a few pieces and see how easy it is. But doing that glass blasting, he was only going to charge me $400, which is an absolute steal. And it won't warp the panels. It doesn't get hot because it's glass. And anyways, the guy who's doing it sounded like he's very knowledgeable. But after I get the roof on and the foam and everything, I'll have him blast the whole thing. Then I'll put primer on it, and then I'll start putting my fenders on. And once my fenders go on, I will start getting them lined up and whatnot and sanded down and also painted in primer. Then once that's done, I'll put my front core support on, put my doors on. And then once my doors and the whole body's put all together and painted and everything's welded up like I want it to, then I start fitting everything. Once it's done getting fitted, then I will start putting Bondo on it and sanding it down. After sanding it down, then I got to paint it again, put more Bondo, sand it all the way back down again. After I do that, then I put my very top coat on and maybe just do some light sanding on it and then clean it up. And then I do my final coat of actual color. Then after my color's done, and then I do my clear. Then after clear, then I have to absolutely just sand that, like wet sand it, I believe, to get that mirror finish I'm trying to get and take all the orange peel out and whatnot. But I'm gonna go with a color like it's like a pearl white kind of. It has white. It's like this white metallic in it rather than a silver. So like if you're looking down it in the sun, down the body lines, it like turns black instead of blue or an orange like you see on most vehicles. But anyways, it's looking good. And man, there was even a lot of stuff even from factory like this. Like I welded this up where it's just this massive piece that just wasn't even connected. But I'm gonna end up actually even going in here and welding up this stuff. I feel like it might be like this is even from factory, and it looks like there might be even a little bit of foam in there. But it's a little bit welded. I'm gonna finish welding it up, and that just goes to show how shitty these freaking trucks are. But I got all my interior parts where that connect. Some of the bolts look like they're wallered out and whatnot. So I just went ahead and completely welded them shut and sanded them down so that I'll just re-drill new holes with this type of screws that I want. Something that's like stainless or something that's not gonna rust. But that's the update on the first gen for today. Got a lot done. Still got a lot left. But just every day, just inching along, getting her done. As soon as I get done with this, I should start whipping through it. Everything else is going to be a breeze compared to what this stuff is. But anyways, I'll keep you guys updated. And let me know what you want to see next.